Okay, hello again for our second meeting, talking about a very mysterious, the most mysterious topic. The recording is on, the microphone is on, so the mood and curiosity, I believe, is also on. Today we will discuss about the second part. If last time I tried to give the most frequent answers to the questions, the most, let's say, entertaining, yes, like sensational information, light information at the same time. Today we will go a little bit deeper into uncovering the mysteries of how this universe is done. Why we are coming back and back again, from where did we come, and actually what is the point of being born again and again, and where eventually we have to go, where is that home that we are keep on hearing in different instances. And there will be, because thanks God, you had questions, quite many. So I believe it will take time answering them. This is why there will be another meeting next week where I will talk about the structure of the subtle bodies, what is remaining, what is gone forever, after we die, what we are shifting to another life. The question, your question actually, Edvarik, about the Kundalini energy, about the life energy, the questions about our life predestination, life programs, about white angels and black angels, that again we are hearing so often that every person has an angel, but also every person has a black angel. So what does it mean? Who is good, who is bad? The truth about this we will also clarify. We will make the order in this topic as well next time, and many other small and big questions about the soulmates, about if we will not have time today to talk about this. And this is why, this is how I separated the topics. If you will have more questions after this class, obviously we will answer them next time. So I would like to start with answering the questions. Meanwhile, other people will join. So the first question is the first question. Can we say the physical death is seamless process for the dying person, and a death is only in the eyes of the observer? Yes, absolutely. For the soul, for the one who experienced death, this is another stage. This is the continuation of life. This is the normal closure. Because most of the people, they are living from the platform of the matter, that I'm this body, I own these jewelries, I own this house, and oh my God, if I am somehow departing from this life, then oh my God, what will happen to all that I own? And I am so much grieving, and I'm so much in trouble, and so on. Or if I believe that all that defines me is my family, my parents, my children, my husband, my wife, then while they, by the fact that they will disappear from this life, obviously I will feel extreme pain. No, normally, everybody will cry when somebody dear departs. Everybody, the most spiritual, the saint, everybody, because we have our human part, which is very active, and we have our divine part, spiritual part. So from the human part, even with all the understanding of all this spiritual knowledge, we still will cry. And this is normal, but just it shouldn't last for too long, and it should be with understanding of actually what is happening and why it's normal for the person to go. And it's like, let's say, the classmates after graduating from high school, or maybe later on college, university, they feel so much sorry to separate that they decide, let's not separate, let's just continue and be here all together and not move on, because it's so painful to move on. Or let's say you had the luck to have a very good plumber who fixed some kind of issues in your house. The water, the tap was leaking, and he came and he really did such a wonderful job. And you say, oh my God, like you are the best ever plumber in this world. And what if I will again need you and I don't have you? Let's stay together forever. You will not do that. He came, he did his job very well, you paid him, and that's all. Everybody comes for a job. When the job is done, it's normal for us to separate. So, and a Russian saint would say that there is no death for the one who has faith. This is why absolutely for the dying one, the process is absolutely normal. But this is a huge tragedy for those who live. And this is why all the attention and focus people pull on the one who are still alive, how miserable they feel, and how unfair this life is. And we said what are the consequences for the soul when the family are so much grieving and basically not letting the soul depart. For those who, I might assume that there are people who will for some reason watch this meeting first by skipping the first one, I would recommend, or I'm telling you that there is the first meeting, a very cognitive one. So you better watch that one first. Logically, it will the things will arrange easier in your mind. The second question is so about the Kundalini, and I heard people traveling to Amazon forest to participate in ayahuasca ceremony. Does that has to do in easing to unzip the chakras later during the dying stage? So I will talk about the Kundalini next time, about the subtle bodies, about the energies. Ayahuasca. Oh, this ayahuasca, everybody is so it sounds from all the sides, but mastering the energies which are above our material body is a great victory in our life. It's so hard for us humans, averagely, I'm generalizing, to control our physical body, to control our senses. People can barely control their food habits, eating a lot and eating bad stuff. People can hardly control their smoking, drinking habits, alcohol, I mean. People can hardly control their sexual habits. People can hardly control their body, which is the primitive matter. Controlling the further level of chakras, of thoughts, of emotions, of all these non-material things is a next level, and it's much more difficult. So how can it be attained so easily just as taking a substance, be it natural substance, be it chemical substance? Actually, it's very the experiences are very confusing. The experiences are a lot with a lot of consequences. So I, whenever I am asked about such things of using ayahuasca for whatever reasons or different other substances, I am absolutely against this, absolutely, because people try through an easy way to get to big progress in their life. It cannot happen. It cannot happen. This is why I prefer the not taking the shortcuts in this, because you cannot. It will not work, at least for such purposes. Then next question is, okay, about the Enoch. Few faithful and valiant saints like Enoch who have given life to their physical body, and they have bypassed the physical death and have a glorified body. What can we learn from these saints? A lot we could learn from these saints, but let's say like this, a lot to learn, but who can? who can follow the life of the saints. And it was so easy. Like, there is so less you have to do. Come on, all you have to do is love. And still we fail. And still we fail. All we have to do is choose God. And still we fail. So there are 3 people mentioned in Bible who bypassed the death. This is Enoch, this is Elijah, and this is Melchizedek, the saint and the king of Salem, Jerusalem. And there are a lot of personalities in Vedic scriptures who did the same. They bypassed death, and they have been taken to heaven by a chariot. For example, like Elijah, he was taken by a fiery chariot to the skies. The very same in Vedic scriptures. Hundreds of instances we see when a beautiful chariot just comes from the skies, and the personality is taken to the heavens directly to God in his abode. The very same, we know at least one personality in Christianity, Jesus Christ, who was conceived without a sexual act. So basically, he appeared. He was not born. He appeared. He was conceived in purity from the Spirit. In the very same, we know again a lot of personalities. This is a very common tradition or phenomena described in the Vedic scriptures. I will mention today about these great personalities who are not quite humans. They don't have much to do with this material. They don't come here on earth as humans. They come as great teachers. They come as an example. They come with a big mission, and this is why they are treated differently. They don't have to go through all these humans protocols or stages. It's like, imagine that there is an airport in the country, and a normal citizen has to go through one control, another control, baggage control, security control, passport control, I don't know, like 5-7 stages. Then boarding, then waiting, then please lock your belts. Like, the person has to really go through stages, and basically you cannot avoid them. But then in the very same airport, you can see private jet or a helicopter landing on the side. The car comes, the person comes out and go immediately through the gate. Like, it takes less than 10 minutes to be from the landing moment till the outside in the traffic. Why? Because there are something in that person, some status that allows him to bypass certain, not to stop at the red light. Yes, we know that the police car, the fire cars, emergency cars, they have the right not to stop at the traffic light. Why? Because they have a special status. This is why such people are what we can learn for them. Follow their examples. Who can follow their examples? It means, remember that who created everything that we are enjoying. Not the point is never to forget to whom everything belongs, because most of the time we think that it belongs to me and it feels so safe, it feels so sweet, and I'm so great, I'm even sometimes greater than God, and I can, and I. That's our problem. We forget who we are and to whom all this belongs. And again, I'm telling that it doesn't mean that we have to be poor or we have to be miserable. No, we are meant to live a beautiful, rich, healthy life, but with only one condition: to remember that everything belongs to God. and we are his servants, which makes us happy and makes him happy. The next question is, the soul is choosing parents 3 months before conception, and if the soul sees parents aren't ready for the baby, it waits for this moment or finds a different set of parents. In the latter case, parents stay infertile. Is it for good or until a new soul finds them? If the baby self-aborts, I mean the soul, the baby self-aborts, it was not an abortion initiated by the parents, by the mother, but the baby for some reason understood that this family is not ready, like it's a change of plan. This family is not ready to receive me. A self-abortion happens and the soul leaves, maybe to wait for these parents for some time, maybe to find another parents, but it doesn't mean that the family will stay infertile. No, in this case, no, they will just wait till the mother is ready. And please remember that always the miscarriages happen when the woman doesn't want the baby. And now the many ladies watching this will say, it's not true, I so much wanted the baby and I had 3 miscarriages or 1 miscarriage. My dears, it's true, because with our mind, with our brain on the surface, we most of the women who had miscarriages, they really want the baby and they are really kind of waiting for the baby, but deep in their heart they might have the fear of having this baby, because from the simple factors like the pain of labor, from the simple factors that, oh my god, like our financial state is not that great, like I'm worried about how or what if this is a girl or a boy and my husband wants this or that, or what if I already have the 5 kids, or what if I so much wanted to go to work to build my career, and again I have to be stuck in home for 1 year, no. Or my husband doesn't want the child. This is one of the top frequent reasons for the miscarriage. The husband doesn't want the child, or the mother-in-law doesn't want the child, and the woman knows about this, then she worries. She subconsciously feels that this child will be a cause of maybe some kind of disturbance in her life. So she wants the baby, but subconsciously she understands that it worries her a lot. The child feels, for the child, for the soul, the mother is the God, is the universe, is everything. And when God is suffering because of me, then I will self-sacrifice myself and I will exit the heaven. This is why, my dears, miscarriages are always as a result of some fears, of some kind of not wanting the child, and the baby makes your wish come true. The next question is, after the soul travels through stages to get to the God of death, each soul writes the script for a new life. Is it always with the purpose to fix mistakes? Is there a level of understanding what mistakes were made and what should have been done? Or it's what the soul thinks need to be done in a new life? This soul, once it doesn't have the material body, the memory of the soul is 100% reactivated. The memory of all the reincarnations, the memory, like this soul without a material body in that stage, remembers everything, knows exactly well what mistakes have been committed. The knowledge has the soul has the absolute knowledge related to what concerns his existence. So it's aware of the mistakes that have been done, and the soul is aware of what would I need in the next life in order to diminish these mistakes. But the problem is that once the soul is given the material body, the memory goes. The memory goes the moment we receive the material body, the memory goes. So the soul is, the child is born and it doesn't remember. Oh my God, what was the mistake? What is the point? Which exam is this? Which class is that? Which is the subject? What's the object? Like, I don't know. So you see, God is the greatest joker. When we don't have a material body, we know exactly, we remember. But we don't have the tool to correct, because the tool to correct, it's only we can only fix things, mistakes in this material life only while having the material body. When we don't have the body, we know what has to be fixed, but we don't have the means. When we get the tool, now we have the tool, but we forgot what we have to do. So what like, okay, then what's the point? Yes, the point is that we have to purify our heart in order to understand what God wants from us. The more we purify our heart, the stronger God's voice is in our hearts. The soul talks to us in a louder way, so that we finally understand what is required from us. This is why when we are born, God is not that cruel, and He puts in our pockets, when a child, very often when the child at an early age starts to be somewhere alone, go somewhere alone, usually it's a normal thing to have in the pocket his address, the phone of his father, mother, some, like, this is something normal. In case of some, I don't know, emergency, something in a stadium, when you go in a stadium, even if you are with your parents, definitely you will make sure that your child, in case anything happens, there is something, clues to how to find your origins. The very same thing does God. When we come on this earth, God puts us such notes in our pockets. He writes us such notes on our palms, on our face, so that we, if only we have the desire to know who we are, we have, my dears, 1,000,000 ways to understand what will make us happy in this life. This is why it's only the drama queens who will all their life keep on blaming, complaining, nagging that I'm so unhappy. You are unhappy because you choose to be so. There are so many tools and options for you to become happier today, but for some reason you don't want to look there, and you are still there stepping on the wounds that are so hurting you so much. This is why the only thing that is missing is the desire to change something, the desire which would be followed by actions, because we have these clues about who we are, what is our mission in this life, everywhere. And those of you who took the numerology classes with me, or whoever has the knowledge in at least in any predictive science, you see how eye-opening and life-saving and how miraculous this knowledge changes our lives, showing us who we are. With this occasion, I'm inviting whoever wants to get this valuable knowledge to my class, numerology course in January. I'm planning to start a new group. This is why the soul knows, but the soul cannot fix. The soul needs a body. And for example, the continuation of the question, if a woman was killed by her husband, could she decide not to get married next life? She was not killed because she was married. She was killed for in another precise circumstance, and she might be scared of those situations. in relationship with, in the next life, in relationship with men. But definitely in the next life she will have, because you see, everything is in one life somebody kills you, in another life you have the chance to kill that person or somebody else. So here, like, you know, who slaps you, you slap him, because the one who committed the crime has to get the very same punishment. So basically, the one who commits the crime will definitely be punished similarly wise in the next life. The one who got hurt has the chance to kind of revenge as bad as what happened to the in the next life to the person. But here is the choice of the person, the choice of the soul. Will I again start this cycle of hurting and revenging, hurting or revenging, or maybe I have the chance to raise my conscience above the level of anger, whatever, and understand that I was the cause of his treatment. Something in me, be it from this life, be it from the past life, but something in me triggered that. So a certain situation got neutralized through such a painful event. So basically, obviously it hurts, obviously it's very painful, but I don't blame the aggressor. But before blaming the aggressor, I'm trying to understand what in me caused such cruel event. And very often, when let's say husband and wife, they are very close, karmically bounded people, and when such tragedies happen, then in next life they will again be born in a very close surrounding to each other, and most probably in the same family, because naturally the one who committed the crime will try in next life to avoid this person, because the soul knows, I mean, the body, the physical body on cellular level knows there was a conflict with this person. So the body remembers. This is why, for some reason, there are some people, there are some places in this world, there are some movies, music that we don't, food even, that we don't like. You see the person and you don't understand, kind of a good, that's it's fine person, but for some reason I just cannot stand, or I'm afraid, or I get very nervous when in close to this person. Why? Because we had a negative experience, painful experience in the previous life. And I remember in such instances, I always remember story, a situation, real life situation, which happened, which was told to us by my teacher. He happened to be he was invited to have a talk to a group of mothers of sick children, of or maybe from vulnerable families, like mothers with special conditions, let's say mothers whose life wasn't the easiest, a group of mothers. So they were talking, communicating, and at certain point, or maybe at the end of the meeting, some of the women approached him and said, like, look, we have, this is one of the ladies who was present here, and she has a very difficult situation with one of her children. And could you please look in her chart and maybe give an answer to what is happening? So the story is that this woman, she had 3 boys, 3 children. At that time, they were like quite young. Let's say, I don't know, 7, 5, 4, like something, still children, young children. And one of these children, and they were all beautiful, all three of them with angelic eyes, angelic faces, white blonde hair, and they had the names from the Bible, Matthew, Luke, and somebody else. And everything was fine. But with one child, I think the eldest one, who was at that time maybe 8, maybe 7. At that time, so with that child, the boy's name was Luca. She was not able to bear him. She was hating him. She was making his days and life miserable. And she herself could not understand why I, the mother, have such hatred toward this child who, no, it's a child. He didn't do anything, but she was just not hating him as much as a demon can hate anyone else. And the child was so obedient. The child was so understanding. The child was an angel. So the situation is obviously intriguing, and my teacher looked into the chart of the child and the mother. And it turned out that in previous life, this woman was raped by a group of men, and raped very, very badly. Like, there is rape and there is rape. But she was raped in a badly, very violent, very aggressive, like in a very bad way. And she got pregnant. She remained pregnant after this rape. And somehow, for some reason, I don't know why and how, she kept the baby. The baby stayed, the baby didn't go. And psychologically, she even forgot or forgave, or she let go the aggressors. And all her pain, all her hatred, all her reproaches fell on this child. She was hating this child so much because every time when she would look at this child, it would remind her of the pain, of the shame, of the anger, of everything. So she couldn't handle it, and she killed the child. We are talking about past life. She killed the child. So this child was this very son in her previous life as well. And looking at the chart of this boy, basically he has the chart of a saint. So theoretically, this boy had enough chastity, he had enough good karma not to come back again on this earth to be born again, but just to go back home. But from that, Idbarik, you ask, like, what should we do? This is what should we do. When you have the chance to go and drink champagne, you say, no, you know what? Let me help you with digging the garden, because yes, my garden is done, but yours is not, so I'll help. So the boy, he asked when he was a soul, like, please, let's not punish this woman. Let's give her another chance. I will be born again in her life as the son, giving her the possibility to correct her attitude. So again, he's born as the son. But she remembers. Plus the feeling, that the memory that she killed this very boy, and a few years ago she killed him. I mean, a few years ago, 30, 40 years ago, whatever. She remembers, so she hates him even more. So my teacher said all this. You see how amazing astrology is. Like, you can, it's a knowledge, it's a science without bottom. Like it doesn't have a bottom. You can go deeper, deeper, deeper. It just, I'm really amazed. It's a science that is worthy studying the entire life. So the teacher said, and the woman, the mother, she had some late stage of cancer, and the doctor said that she only had like really less time to live, couple of months, year, like something really short. And he said that you don't like, but just all you have to do is to wash this boy's legs every single day and to ask for forgiveness, because he's here to save you. He's here to save you. This is why, my dears, with those especially family members that we hate, that we don't like, there is something that this hatred or these body signals they are telling us. There is an untold story that, yes, it's easier to turn the face, but it's so much important to stay and to go into the matter. Otherwise, it will just keep on repeating again and again. So why to waste time? The next question is, how do you feel about the cremation? Is it better for the soul? The cremation, the one of the big advantages, and maybe they are really super important, is that the body, the soul, once the body is immediately the same day destroyed, the soul it will be easier for the soul to depart. Kind of the last proof of your material nature is destroyed. So don't waste your energy and focus on crying over this matter. It's destroyed. Now only focus on the further. This is why for myself, I would definitely choose the cremation. My grandma gave very strict directions. When I will die, don't even think to bury me so that the worms will eat me. Please, only burn me. So this is when she died. My auntie, she was cremated. My grandma. Next question. Can we avoid death? Like we always hear, if you are not into extreme sports, let's say if you don't drive fast or motorcycle, or wouldn't be triggering your death. Well, not obviously being careful saves from accidents, but if you have to die, then definitely it can happen in a heart attack, or you can get poisoned by some unimaginable thing. So all the accidents, they have their own goal. It's just to pay our attention on our way of thinking, and this is a chance for us to correct our behavior and our mindset. When we have an accident, it means that some of our behavior, habits, and way of thinking reached an unacceptably wrong way, and the accident is there to stop us, in order to give us a chance to revise. The very same incurable, what is called incurable illnesses, they have the goal mostly not to kill us, but to give us another chance to revise our life positions. And if those angels who are around us, the consciousness, the higher consciousness sees that basically there are zero chances for the person to get back to normal mindset, to shift, to rehabilitate, then the person is excluded from this game by an accident, a fatal accident. As a result, the person dies. Why it happens? It's again the mercy of God. By this, God, before such fatal accidents, there are many instances when the person was given hints about, come on, please, it's time, something you are doing wrong. Try to understand, please try to correct. And when the universe sees that it's helpless, like it's hopeless and it's helpless, like we cannot do anything. So in order not to allow the person to live the full life by committing more and more mistakes, by making this ball of bad karma, negative karma even bigger, God shows his mercy and excludes him before something even worse for the next life happens. This is how we should always regard all kind of accidents. Ask why, what is God trying to show me, instead of blaming the one who is technically wrong, of the guilty of the accident. Instead, that is just the tool. That person made a favor to God. God used him as a tool to save your soul, not your body, to save your soul. But if the person will understand this, if the person lives a life worth of saints, like we said in the beginning, if the person purifies the heart, then definitely we will not need such accidents. Next question is, how about near-death experiences? When the soul decides to come back. It's close to the previous question. It's when the person is given another chance to live a sincere life, to correct the mistakes. So basically, in a situation when the body is ready to die because of some wrong mindset, the person deviated so much from the mission, from who she is, that it's easier, like it's under the question, to leave him here, live further, or to take him. So there is still that level, that balance, that level where the balance can be reinstalled. So if in such situations, or also sometimes when the person is very sick, when the person is in situation of danger and the person prays, or the also family members pray. So the person, by the higher decision, should die. But because of the prayers of the person itself, or the family, the person is given another chance, but definitely with the acknowledgement of the soul. But when in such situation the person is given a second chance, and if the person will not correct himself or herself, then at the moment of the death, the person will not be given the chance to remember God. The person will die unconsciously, in the sleep, or maybe in coma, or maybe whatever. Do you remember last time we spoke how important is that before death the person is awakened and the person tries to remember what matters the most? So in this situation, when the first time the person was given a chance but didn't misused it, the second chance will not be given, so that the person will again be born on earth and again waste a lot of time in going through all these sufferings. Next question. We always pray for people that are close to us and dead, and we say we have an angel watching over us, and we feel they guide us sometimes and still protect us somehow. Is it really the case? If the soul is incarnated in another body, is she still really protecting us, or busy with her new life and experiences? This is also a question that I myself had, like how? If yes, they say that the 7th generation of the ancestors, they guide us, or my angel, whatever, my grandma died and she's protecting me, watching over me, or a child or something, okay, they reincarnated again. then what? Who is watching there and who is there? So the answer is that what was once upon a time, let's say, my grandma, my great-great-grandfather, let's say if I had a small child, a small sister, brother who also died, all those entities, the memory of them or the energies of them, like holograms, they are like information energetical clusters who these energetical clusters, they preserve absolutely all the records, all the information about the history of this reincarnation, of this personality, and the connection with everything. So from that point, kind of a hologram, a clone, if you want, of the person who you knew once, it's there, and the action of it is just exactly like the clone. Energetically, it keeps on impacting you in a negative or in a positive way, as if it was like it doesn't, like the fact that it gets incarnated again does not affect in any way that informational structure that is left. And very often when God wants to talk to us and to make us realize, to give us a hint, for example, in dreams, the advices, the clues are given to us by people whom we trust, whom we love very much. For example, the auntie that died, the grandma, the father, the mother, the sister. Usually those images are sent to us with a message that we need to know, because we trust them, and by default we will listen to them. This is why for example, my grandma, she died, but she was a great personality in the entire not district, in the entire governorate where we live now. And she died. Physically, she's not there, but the memory of her, the aura of her, still impacts us. Because every time when somebody stops and asks you whose you are, and you say, I'm the granddaughter of this, everybody say, oh, and automatically the respect people had for my grandma, automatically it impacts me. And if I had a family member with a negative history and renommé in the village, then automatically, no matter how good I am, that kind of shadow would also fall on me. So somehow this is how it happens on the energetical level. Your view on miracles. Why we somehow only hear of miracles that happen through saints like Christianity? Are there miracles in another religion in maybe different way? My dears, as long as you are only reading the Christian sources, then it's obviously that you will only hear about the Christianity and their miracles, because in Christianity they will never boast about the miracles that happen in Islam or in the Vedic or in the Hebrew tradition. Everybody is promoting their own miracles. This is why if you study even superficially any kind of another religion, you will find a lot of miracles. In Islam, the miracle that Prophet Muhammad made, the splitted moon, it's a miracle, it's a miracle. Him visiting in one night, going from Mecca to Jerusalem and back in one night, in the times when it was impossible, and still it happened. The weeping tree, like Islam is full of miracles. Vedic tradition is even fuller of miracles. A third part of everything that happens in the Vedic stories are miracles. I don't know, now that I can remember, it's the story of the Savitri, the amazing Savitri, who was able to get back the life of the soul from the Lord of Death, from Yamaraj, of her husband. The husband died, and she knew that the husband will die, but somehow still she managed to get him alive. The Draupadi's sari, when she was trying to be undressed, and they were pulling her sari, and with just it, the sari would never end. The people turned into stones and appeared from the stones. Miracles over miracles, the flying mountains, the everywhere where God is, there are miracles. So the miracles are innumerable. In absolutely every tradition. Why we all die differently, like why some deaths are harsh and some peaceful? Is it depending on old lives and how much we deserve? Somehow yes and no. Somehow yes and no. Logically, we could say that if there is an older soul, which is also true, there are souls with more experience, there are souls with less experience. So those souls who are older, what we call, definitely they have more wisdom, and they maybe have the inclination to live a more conscious life. We die the way we live. The more conscious, the better, the kinder, the correcter, if we can say, our life is, the better we will die. Otherwise, the death is the mark. If a person died in an aggressive, in a harsh, like you said, way, then that is the mark to his or her life. So we can understand what kind of life was there. Because, my dears, this is also a big message in this. When the person dies in a harsh way, violent way, sudden way, accident, is there time to remember God? Absolutely not. It means that the last moment of your life is filled with anger, pain, when something sudden happens to each of us. You cut your finger, you dropped I don't know, your glass, you hit somebody's car, like every sudden. Who says, oh God, oh Krishna, Krishna? Who says? Usually people say, oh shit. That's the easiest they say, right? It's automatic reaction. Only a person who remembers God, I don't know, 1/3 of the day, in such moments will say, oh my God, like, oh God. They will not say, oh, this. They will say, oh God, because even in sudden, shocking situation, they still remember about God, because they have had him in their mind for most of the previous time. But when the person just has God absolutely not on the mind, then in such moment, definitely it will be not God that he will be thinking of. It will be the anger, it will be desire to revenge, it will be the fear, it will be the pain, the blame, and so on. So, and remember the way from the previous meeting, the way we die, the very same mindset, we move, we shift to the next life. If the person dies in a harsh, violent, sudden way, this is the way they will be born. Because from the start they believe this life is not welcoming, this life is painful. So this is how they have to start their next life. I believe, this is my personal very strong belief, that you can hardly be born softly at home if you died in an accident or in a violent death before. Your welcoming in the world will be just like the departure from the previous life. Do we decide when to die? Well, actually, the lifespan is defined by before we are born. So but this is something that makes us understand that we definitely take part in this decision. The question is, do you have enough that divine currencies, enough bonus points to order a good health that will keep you for a longer period on Earth, and also according to the mission, according to the mission, how long you need for that. But definitely you participate. We decide when, before we are being born, not once we are born. The good deeds in the same life erase the bad ones. I mean, some people, let's say, have a bad past, but just but then they have a wake-up call and change their life upside down and start healing and changing. Absolutely, yes, I truly believe that. And we have so many instances, examples in the history. Every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. That's the point. When you have a life full of sin, you will be the best saint after that, because you've been where it's dirt, and you will understand, compare how is when it's clean, and your impact on other people will be so much more sincere, because you are talking, preaching, acting, living out of your own experience. So yes, absolutely, I believe that in a matter of a second, a person can decide to radically change their lives. I absolutely believe so. That's those were your questions. Very, 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 very good questions. Also, now I am okay. After what? After that. So, my dears, as I said, today I suggest that we speak about the creation of this universe. Why? So that we know exactly what is in reality this material world, and we think that, oh my God, this is the best place to live, and we have so many plays done for this place, but in fact we are just missing that somewhere is a better, maybe a better place to be. It's for example, you came to Disneyland, and the gates of Disneyland are extremely, let's say, there are gates which are opening like this, and you as a child who never saw any kind of entertainment in this world, let's say you come from a village or from a poor family that never you even knew this, and you see this beautiful gate and you say, oh my God, I heard people always talking about Disneyland, it's really great, and you are only seeing the gates, and you are climbing on these gates like all we kids did, and you are just going from one side, swinging on these gates, and you are enjoying it so much, and you said, oh my God, they were right when they were saying that Disneyland is the biggest distraction, entertainment in this world. And it's only the gate. You didn't even step ahead. So most of the people being in the material world, I mean, being on these gates and thinking that this is, oh my God, what kind of entertainment, they are actually not aware that the Disneyland still hasn't started. It's just all ahead, and the entertainment you have there, you haven't even dreamt to imagine. So this is where we are now, and this is where we could be and where we should be. My dears, I want to warn you and to ask you, what I will be saying now will definitely doesn't click immediately with what you already know. But this is why I'm sharing it. Otherwise, this meeting would have zero value, because I would be talking about things you know. So I want to talk about things above what you know, what you know plus something radically new. So it's not required from you to change your life or to give up your faith or to stop going to churches, mosque, or so on. Absolutely not. Don't change absolutely anything in your life. Just what you'll hear today, keep it there and add it to all gradually, most probably gradually, to what already you know. So for those who are you have the chance to take it as a story, okay, as a fairy tale, so that it will be maybe less easier for your subconscious, for your mind to comprehend it. So there is a place in this creation where God lives. So the first news for today is that God is not only light, God is not only ocean of love, God also has a personal identity. And in Bible, it's written very clearly. And God created the humans according to his image. So God looks, or let's say we look like God. So God is a personality. One of his forms is also of a personality. God has his residence. And this residence is called Goloka. So this is a realm. I will use the whiteboard. I just discovered this option not that long ago, and it's quite useful. So, my dears, are you seeing now the whiteboard?
Yes.
Okay, just a second. Okay. So, this is the God's abode in the form of the lotus. It's called Goloka. And here, God is a friend. Okay? Later on, you will understand what means God is a friend. So here is the place where God is at home. Agree that each of you, especially the men, minimum you have two statuses. You have your family and you have your job, business. It means the social you. So there is the you, family you, and there is the social you. And everybody would agree that at home, you are absolutely different from how you are at the office. The way your wife talks to you at home, the employees don't talk to you the same at the office, right? So there is a big difference. At home, you are more open. The people, the family members, the closest friends to you who have the access into the depth of your family, they know you from the points of view and they love you much stronger than, for example, at the office. Because at the office, people might have some maybe fears, maybe kind of boundaries of really knowing the real you. So here is the God living in his abode and being surrounded by souls who are eternally liberated. Those souls have the same nature as we have, but just they acquired that eternal liberation. It means they will never come back or be in the material world. Never. They are eternally next to God. And in that realm, they are interacting with God as with a friend, with a personality that you love so much, and you are happy serving their God according to everybody's nature. I will try to be very simple, maybe even somehow primitive. So that's fine. I want you to have the first, it's so nice to see everybody. You see, like the kids, everybody wants to try the whiteboard. It feels good. So from this, God's abode, where God is in his favorite place, this is where God belongs, okay? So from there, you have rays of light coming, energy, the energy, effulgent energy is coming from that abode, which is called Brahma Jyoti. That is the something where a lot of impersonalists, a lot of yogis refer that after death we are becoming one light. We are becoming, we are reuniting with the light. This is why the impersonalists, they think that after dying we become all one, all light. We are dissolving ourselves in the divine light. So they only reach this level of understanding of God in personal, reaching the Brahma Jyoti. Okay, this is the spiritual, this is the light of the spiritual world. Then all around here, all around these God's abode, there are planets or whatever. Yeah, let's say planets. Planets which in Sanskrit they are called Vaikuntha. And on each of those, this is also spiritual world. All that we are talking now is referring to the spiritual world. So on these planets, on each of them, there is also a God. I mean, the same God, but you know, like the sun, when the sun is, this rays of sun fall on 100 pots of water, in every pot you will see a sun, right? Even though the sun is one, the source is one. But if you will have the 100 pots filled with water, the reflection of the sun will be seen in every single pot, correct?
Yeah.
This is why, similar way, in a very primitive, simplified way, on each of these planets, there is God. The same God, but what is the difference? The difference is that here God is the king. Here God is in the office. It means the people living on these spiritual planets are regarding the God as his king, as their king. It means the relationships are not that close. Is there a difference if the king is your friend or king is just a king and you are only seeing him in the newspaper? Obviously, there will be differences. Everybody is serving God according to their nature, but people, I mean, souls here are not in those fully, openly loving relationship with God. This is why everybody, the final goal of every soul is definitely to reach here, because here the relationship with God are the sweetest. Here is the nectar when you are serving God, and by serving him you are constantly in that spiritual ecstasy. So in the spiritual world, in the heaven, in the God's heaven, there is no logic. Okay, there is nothing material. because logic is only related to the material world. And at certain point, some of the souls on Vaikuntha, they start experiencing a certain type of envy. And many of you can think that, what kind of envy? We are talking about spiritual world, it's not material. Well, yes, the material world, just like any creation of God, is just as humans were created according to God's image, the very same, the material life is created according to, like, it's a reflection of the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, there are lies, there are envy, anger, but it's just they are in such a way that they don't hurt the others. Okay, I know it's hard to understand, but still, like, let's say there is envy as well in the spiritual world. So some souls envied and they said, like, I would like, why they envy God? When God gives to every soul an absolute talent, a quality that none of the other soul in this creation doesn't have. This is our very individual nature. God is very creative. This is why his fantasy is good enough to really create natures for all the existing souls. So every one of us, we, the one who are sitting now in front of these screens, we don't belong here. We belong there, very far away and very long time ago. God gave us our nature, and we were experiencing and manifesting and acting and living out of this nature. But there came a time when Radha said, kind of, no, why I have to serve God? I also want to see why I have to be a cat? I want to be a bird, because look, the cat's life is boring. Like, cat is sitting here, but the bird is flying. So Radha tried to be something that she is not. So she comes to God and says, you know what? Like, I'm the cat, but I would like to be. I want to see how the life of the bird is. I want to serve you as a bird. I don't want to serve you as a cat. And God says that, come on, you can only be happy when you are living your own nature. You can be only happy when you are being a cat. And I'm stubborn like a child. I say, no, God, you don't understand. Like, look how these birds are flying, and it's so interesting. Like, I know that I can be happy as a bird. And God tries to disconvince me. But we know, whoever has children, right? Whoever is a parent, you know that when a child wants something, they will keep on nagging that, please, mom, I really want this toy. I really want this. No. So eventually, most of the time, the parents just break. So does the God, because God is unconditionally loving us. And the God says, okay, because I love you, I will make your wish come true. But there is one problem. All that you see here, all this realm, the spiritual world, only you cannot be not yourself here. Here are only those who are acting according to their nature. So if you really want so much be a different nature, then I will create for you a special place. And God creates for us the material world. The material world. The material world is only 1/4 of the entire creation. So basically, it's a small place. Here are the material world. Here is the material world. And inside this material world, there are as many universes as there are bubbles in an ocean wave. Okay? So basically, there are a lot of, like in the material world, there are a lot of universes. And all these universes are, they are washed. Okay, I understood. Like this is better. Just a second, so that it will be clear. So this is the material world, and inside these are universes, as many as there are bubbles in an ocean wave. And in between all these universes, there is the causal ocean. It means the ocean of karma. Everything has a cause and everything has a consequence. In this, somewhere here is our universe as well. Our galaxy is the smallest. Okay, somewhere here is our galaxy, and in this galaxy is our planet Earth. It's the smallest galaxy. And our galaxy is made of 14 levels. 14 levels, okay? I will choose the colors. So the first levels, 4 levels, are the realm of paradise, angels, demigods. Here, who are angels, who are demigods, and so on, who are the dwellers of the paradise? They are quality-wise souls like us. We are absolutely equal to them. The difference is in our experience, knowledge, and purity of our consciousness. That is what makes us different, and you will understand why. In order to people, creatures or souls who live on the first 4 levels in the paradise heaven levels, they have the following mindset. I cannot be happy as long as somebody around me is not happy. So the moment you will have such a mindset, the moment you will not be able to live otherwise, believe me, you will be born in a heaven planet, one of these 4. Okay? But as long as you are born on Earth, and Earth are the following 3 levels, 5, 6, and 7. As long as you are born on Earth, then it means that your mindset is following, I don't mind somebody being better than me or happier than me, but please, I must be first, or I must be a bit better or a bit happier. I should come first. Yeah? Do you recognize this mindset, my dears? As long as we are born here, then this is something that we are practicing. So the humans, as long as we have this mindset, like, I don't mind you having the newest car, but my car should be newer, at least 3 months newer. I don't mind you having the boat, but my boat should be at least half-meter longer. And so on, and so on, and so on. Then, so these are the first 7 levels. This is why, my dears, do you remember how, not the proverb, but there is a saying, I am in the 7th heaven of happiness. So this is the 7th, the highest realm. This is the 7th heaven, where it's the how to say, 7-star hotel with I don't know, whatever the appreciation would be there. Then follow 7 less pleasant realms. Those are underground levels, mandalas, planets. And if on the first 4 levels, angels and demigods are living, and more than that, it's not that they are only living there, they are working there. They are managing the system. In the next class, I already mentioned it the last time when I said that in our body there are 350,000 meridians, energetical meridians, and there are 350,000 personalities, demigods, angels, who are managing our behavior in a human body. So they are all living in these heaven planets. These, I again remind you, this is also a material world. This is not spiritual world. Each of us most probably already was there. I will explain how you go there and why you come back. But they are just souls like us with a bigger consciousness. So the lower 7 realms, those are the demonic aerial, and in order to be there, you must have the mindset of, I cannot be happy unless anyone around me, I cannot be as somebody around me is also happy. I will only be happy when around me people are suffering. That is the mindset of a demonic personality. My biggest happiness is the pain of the other people. And the thing is that you cannot exit the material world only through one portal. From the material world to the spiritual world, there is only one portal. And this portal is planet Earth. This is why we are kind of quite privileged. We are quite privileged. But this fact makes also our planet very attractive to different other personalities. Now, why should we try to go in the spiritual world if we have the option of the heaven, 7-star hotel, living in a 7-star hotel, it's not that bad. The problem is the moment you accumulate good bonuses during your life, you have the option to go in the heaven. You know, it's just like in life, you have enough money, you have the option to go to enjoy 7 days all-inclusive somewhere on an island. But instead, you can also go on a different island and spend 7 days with just on water and bread and in prayers, right? When we choose a heaven planet, the moment our good karma, it means the moment our money, spiritual money, is finished, we are coming back, returning to where? To earth. So, and like this, we are just going, traveling between here and there, here and there. This is why eventually, and what is the minus of the heaven planets? It's very hard to meditate, to fast, to think of God when you live in luxury. Agree, it's very hard, right? And it's so much easy to remember God in the time of danger or crisis. Instantly we remember God. Instantly, with the first moment that the pain comes, instantly we remember God. But living in a luxury hotel, all inclusive, it's so hard to practice this spirituality and to remember God. You don't have the time. You have, like what I said in the beginning, it's so hard to control your senses, food habits, your sexual energies. It's very hard. And when you have all these temptations in the heaven, who can resist? The best and the easier and the only possible way to leave the material, to escape the material world, is from the planet Earth, where is a lot of suffering. But already we have the access to spirituality. On the demonic levels, on those 7 underground lower planets, there is no sun. There is no sun. And the fact that there is no sun, they function exclusively on electricity. There is constant night there. This is why everything works on electricity there. This is how we can see in our world, in our life now, the Western lifestyle, with all this nightlife, with all these malls without the light. Everything is on electricity. They don't even have the clocks there, so that you don't realize it's day or night. Like, everything is based on electricity. This is the model of demonic culture, if you want. But those levels, those 7 levels, they need electricity. They don't have the sun. It means they don't have the coal, they don't have the Uranus, they don't have the uranium, they don't have the petrol, they don't have the gases, they don't have all this, because all these are the accumulators of the sun energies and sun energy, and they don't have it. So they have to get it. Where they can get it? Who is the closest to them? We are the closest to them. We are the next. We are the best of the worst and the worst of the best. We are on the border, and everybody knows that living in the time of changes on the borders is quite dangerous. Everybody will assault you. So from where to take? From us. So basically, the demons are interested in planet Earth in order to get all these natural resources, soil resources, so that they have enough electricity, enough means to survive on their own planets. Whoever has been at least once in your life interested in all these conspiracies, the Mason, the Bilderberg, all these conspiracy theories, you, like, a lot of things that I will say will resonate with you, and maybe some things will become clearer. the demons cannot come and just take it bluntly. So they make the agreement. They make the agreement with people on earth. In exchange, you know for what, my dears? They say, you give us the access to the natural resources, and we will give you in return technologies, my dears. So they sign this contract, natural resources versus technologies. The law of esoterics says the higher is technological development, the lower is spiritual development. So in all cultures where the technological development is high, their spiritual development is very low. We can see what is, and actually we can already see what is happening in some countries which are mega technologically developed. And the technologies that the demons give access to our leaders for their level, for the level of the demons, these are like toys. What for us is our highest technologies, for them this is already the forgotten yesterday's day. This is why the UFOs are found mostly, were spotted mostly in the places which are rich with natural resources, or places with very concentrated negative energy. But there is, please tell me what name of devil you know. If you can write in the comments, what are the devil's name that you know? Lucifer, says John. What else? What else? Satan. Any other? Devil, Lucifer, Satan, Shaitan, which is Satan. Deceiver. There is also the name used in Vedic terminology as Kali, and but today I would like to pay attention at the Lucifer. Lucifer, Luciferum, coming from the Latin, means the one who brings light. And it might seem extremely illogical for a person like devil to be the one who brings light. But my dears, everything is extremely simple. He's the one who makes sure that the lower 7 levels have electricity. So basically, he is the electricity minister. He is the one who is in charge of supplying the electricity so that the life in the underworld goes on. But the interesting thing is that Satan, Lucifer, devil is the biggest devotee of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva is the biggest devotee ever, 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 ever of God. It means that the Satan will never do anything without the permit of God. This is just part of the game. And everybody is doing their job, just like the winter comes and the leaves fall down and the cold comes and the crops die and the birds fly away and it seems like the spring will never come again and it seems like you will die and before seeing the sun again. But the spring comes, the leaves are again appearing on the trees, and the life, the circle of life starts again, and we forget the cold, we forget the snow, and we forget all the sufferings of the winter. There is another source of energy that demons are highly interested in. And that source of energy is love. Is love. The energy of love. And the energy of love is million times much more powerful than the energy of the petrol, gases, uranium, and everything else. This is why demons would be much more interested in sucking out of us this energy of love. Energy of love is also there in the plants, animal, rocks. But because of their low level of consciousness, they don't have the ability to manage and to freely share this energy of love. It's just like a child has some money on his bank account, but because he's just a child, the money is there, but he doesn't have the access to this money until he is 18 years old. The very same here, the energy is there accumulated in plants, animals, rocks, but they, because of their low level of consciousness, don't have the access. Only the human, only the soul in the human form has the access, has the ability to maneuver the way we want that powerful resources. This is why we have so much power having this energy of love which is hidden in our soul. And next time I will explain why us having so much power and still we are so miserable and powerless. I will share what is that blockage that is impeding us from really becoming powerful. So now I want to explain you what are the paths that a soul does once it gets on in this material realm. This is the pyramid of eternity. And on the level, on the first, before this pyramid, now the bad news will follow, but what to do? This pyramid, you know, there are sometimes, not sometimes, very often, there are people who say, I am an old soul. I've already lived 7 lives. And when you hear such people like, surprise, surprise, there will be one time in your next lives when you will understand how many lives are there. So, my dears, here are from the bottom of the pyramid till the exit of the pyramid. It means when we are liberated souls. So our life in material life will count 8,400,000 8,400,000 floors. 8,400,000 floors. And not mentioning that on each floor there are 12 levels. So basically, yes, we could also somehow imagine this pyramid like a spiral, where we have levels like this, and on each level there is 12 lives. So in order to pass all those, just calculate 8,400,000 floors by 12, and 7 lives definitely doesn't look like an old. So the first level belongs to the minerals. The first level belongs to minerals. Rocks, it means rocks, minerals. And their purpose is only one single purpose. They have to stay there immobile and accumulate wisdom, accumulate sun's light, accumulate love. And once they reach to the highest level of their development, those are the gemstones. The gemologists, they will all agree that a gemstone will never be, it will just open up to you once it's ready, once it's ripe. Otherwise, it's very hard to find the gemstones. They are hidden. They hide themselves from the people. Once it's ready, it opens. So the gemstones are the apogee of the life of the soul in a mineral body. Then that soul transfers into the level of the plant. And again, it lives a very long life. And the point of the plants is to grow. And the moment we cut a flower which still hasn't opened, which still didn't get to its maturity, we make that flower, that soul, be born again in the body of the same flower, and again try again and again. The apogee of souls in a form of the plant are the fruit trees. So the moment a fruit tree reaches to its, you see a huge tree full of fruit, and you understand that this fruit tree had an amazing life. Yes? Then we can say that it's close to moving forward, climb higher on the evolutionary pyramid. The next stage is the stage of the world of animals, of course. The purpose of the animal life is to die in a natural death. Die naturally. So basically to survive. This is why, my dears, every time an animal is killed, it has to be again born in the same body of animal. And by this, we are stopping that soul from evolution. And obviously, it cannot go without consequences for those people who kill animals. The apogeum of the life of the soul in an animal body is the higher forms of monkeys, those who are very close to the humans. So the monkeys, the cow, and I'm not sure, maybe elephant or horse. I'll try to remember till next time. But it means after these animals, in the next time, the soul is already starts being reincarnating in a human form. But of course, from the monkey, the soul will not get into the body of a Cambridge student, right? It will be born somewhere in some kind of native tribes, primitive tribes, and gradually the soul will get acquainted to the highest level of life in a human body. And the highest level of life is, of course, the one who already are regarding themselves not as a physical body but as a soul. It means people who are already asking themselves existential questions and are talking or asking questions about God, even if in a wrong way, even if in an incomplete way. But the moment the person already starts including God in their life, then it means that we really did a great job so far. So on the level of this human form, there are 400,000 levels. Multiply by 12, it will be like 8 million, like 4,800,000 times you have to be born in a human life, in a human body, in order to get liberated, with the condition that you will not break the rules, that you will not be downgraded, and you will just live your life as a good boy, as a good girl, and gradually climbing. But I believe so many times we've been downgraded one level or even more, who knows, or even more. This is why, my dears, the point, the goal of a soul in a human body is one: to learn to love unconditionally. Point. It barks the third time I'm answering to your question. What to do? This is what to do. Only one thing. Only one thing is required from us: to love, to learn to love unconditionally. But it's so hard. Oh my God, how simple it is and how hard this is. I always remember with this occasion the conversation with an acquaintance, a young man. He came for a rebirthing session, and it was a very impressive and intensive one for him. I believe it was not his first, but later on I felt that he is very overwhelmed, but he didn't share anything with me at that time. It was a very long time ago, maybe 7 years, maybe even more. And after that he said, Rada, it was such an amazing session. I saw myself somewhere in the middle of the desert, and there, out of nowhere, came an old man with long white beard, and like the ones we see, the wise ones we see. And he approaches me and he says, ask whatever you want. And this young man says, like, and I'm saying, oh my God, like, what to ask? In this moment, you forget what you actually wanted to ask. So many times you prayed for such a chance. And I asked such a stupid question, but like nothing else I could come with that moment. I said, why I'm here? And he answered me, but like, I felt he was not satisfied, and even I was not satisfied. And he answered me, you are here to learn to love. I was very disappointed in this answer. The boy was very disappointed in this answer, but I kept on thinking. And I said eventually, it's so true. Like always, we think that our success, that our happiness is related to very mystical, to very complicated schemes. But in fact, the truth is so simple that we always ignore it because it's too simple. Everything that is required from us is to learn to love unconditionally, to stop being selfish, because we are not loving unconditionally, not ourselves. Like myself, I'm not loving myself. I'm loving myself only when I look the way I want, only when I have million subscribers, only when I'm a millionaire, billionaire, or I have the brands I want. That time I love myself. But when I'm not that way, I don't love myself. I have reproaches towards myself. We don't love our parents, no way. We love them as long as they support us. But if they will start not supporting us, blaming or being even rude to us, we will say like, I love my parents, but it's been 7 years I haven't spoken to them. This is not that way. We don't love our brothers, sisters. We don't love our children unconditionally. We love them as long as they are following our comprehension of their life. And of course, we don't love our wives and husbands unconditionally. We love them till the first moment when they start being different from how I wanted to be. So basically, we don't love anyone unconditionally. We are so selfish on every single aspect of our life. This is why we are extremely unhappy, and we will always be unhappy and miserable till the moment when we will at least fail and try again to love unconditionally ourselves, our relatives, and people around us. And when we will manage to do so, sometimes a bit, we will feel that enormous energy, feeling of joy in our hearts. And we will say, oh my God, I was so afraid to give up my selfishness because I thought if I give what I have to somebody else, I will be left with none. But when you start giving and you say, oh my God, what I had didn't become less, the person in front of me, because I gave, starts giving me back. So actually I have more. And the most important, you have that feeling of joy in your heart and you say, oh my God, it's so nice giving, actually. And my entire life, I was so much afraid of giving, thinking that I will have less. So we didn't like the simple answer of that old man, but in fact, that is the secret to our success and happiness, to start loving unconditionally. The more you give, the more you get. It's against the material logic. The more you give, the less you have. It doesn't happen. And in order to learn to love unconditionally, we are given different kind of people around you. We are given the children that are not obedient. We are given the parents that are trying to shape us in their own way. We are given the husbands and wives who are not grateful and who are not seeing how happy and blessed they are by having such a partner that we, and so on and so on. We are given all those ungrateful people around us just with the single goal of learning to love unconditionally. So, my dears, when we are born in the human life, we are, that is our life, That is our life. And of course, we have a life program. We have the higher program of our life. We have a lower program of our life. We have been also mentioning this and working and learning this in the numerology course for those of you who are present here and who took the course. There we were also talking about this. So to generalize, we have a minimum program, we have a maximum program, and it's absolutely out of the person if you will choose to, you know, gradually grow, or you really choose to do an effort in this life and do even maybe more than you thought you can, or as many people, they choose just to go with the flow. Such a modern and vehiculated phrase. Forget, dance the life, go with the flow. And I'm asking, whose flow? With whose flow you want to go? Because there are so many flows in this life. So people who go with the flow, it means not doing any kind of effort. They are just degrading. When we are born, we are given a certain quantity of energy, of that ojas, of life energy. And this life energy, the whole quantity, cannot be multiplied during life. It can be only wisely used, distributed. I said last time that we are even more than that. We are given 30% more than we need to accomplish our highest mission. And somehow we even manage to waste, to misuse those 30% and not even get to the minimum mission, not talking about the highest performance. The quantity of the energy we are given, let's say in this life, our program is for 70 years or let's say 100 years. So we are given this quantity of energy, and this quantity of energy is divided by the number of the years that we are given. It means for each year, we are given a certain quantity of energy. That energy is divided by 365 days. So for each day, we are given a certain energy that will allow us to function correctly. And I want to tell you, my dears, that most of the energy in our body, surprise, surprise, is used to maintain our mental, emotional processes going on, and only 10% of all the energy we spend during the day is to maintain our physical health. Not health, but physical process, physiological processes. Only 10%. If I'm wrong just a bit. Just a miserable part is needed to maintain our physiological processes, and a huge part is meant for our mental, emotional processes. So, if we are misusing our body, obviously the energy we were given for one day will not be enough to cover all the craziness of our one day, 24 hours. So what we will do, we will borrow from the tomorrow's day. Tomorrow's day, we will borrow from the further. What means misuse, mistreat the body? I will give the simplest examples. Eat the food that needs so much energetical resources. Here, I mean, in the first place, non-vegetarian food, alcohol drinking, smoking, or even drug taking. The big serious drug addiction, it means taking heavy drugs like heroin, cocaine, and so on. It can burn the entire life energy in maximum 12 years. It's just a huge consumption of life energy to maintain the body functioning while using such heavy drugs. What else? Sleeping late means sleeping after 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. Okay, it already means sleeping late. I'm not talking about those who are working in the night shifts or who are partying all the night and then going to sleep 4 a.m. and waking up 12 p.m. next day. So sleeping late, waking up late burns our energy so much. And doing physical activities after 6 o'clock in the evening, our body is not meant to be physically active after 6 p.m. This is why every single effort you do, you are going to the gym at 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock, or you are going to the disco, or you are, I don't know, doing what, and you are burning your energy and the energy of the following years. So you, instead of living proper 70 or 90 years, you reach to the age of 50, and your health is so much destroyed that the left years that you have to live, you will be just miserably sick, and basically it will be a total waste. Or maybe you will be just excluded from the game, what we spoke, and we will be talking more about this in the next our meeting. The moment we start being severely sick, it means our life energy is getting to an end. When only 30% is left, the body starts suffering. From the past meeting, we know when only 7-8% is left, the physical body dies. I want to ask you something, who is watching this. Just close your ears now, and you will hear a sound there inside. Just close the ears. Everybody close the ears for just 2 seconds. And I believe everybody hears a sound, like, you know, like something is moving, like the underwater or something. This is the ojas moving, the life energy moving through your body. If it happens that you are closing your ears and there is blank, you don't hear anything, it means in less than 2 hours you will die. There is nothing left. So it's one of the symptoms that the energy is over, and you will just die in the next 2 hours. It will take you a couple of days. You will keep on trying, like, do I hear or not? After that, you will just forget and forget this habit. But from time to time, still you'll, oh, I still have 2 hours. I can finish the movie. So there is there was I don't know, but anyway, everybody likes to experiment on mice. So they did an experiment of injecting some kind of substance in the mice's blood that would stop the mice from aging or getting sick. And really, the mice would never not give a single proof of aging or getting sick. Nothing. Perfectly well, active, happy mice. But when the average time span of the mice comes, out of a sudden, they would come the next day into the laboratory and they would see that the mice are dead. So we can postpone the aging. We can somehow win over some sicknesses, but we have no power over extending life. Even the Rockefeller died recently after 8 times replacing the heart. 8 times, and he was not that old. I think less than 100. I think 80 something, like not that old. So The people are fighting for their material bodies, and they are actually forgetting about their spiritual, divine, godly part. This is why there are some so much suffering when people are losing dear ones. The thing is that without spiritual, the material cannot live. This soul is of purely spiritual, purely spiritual nature. The soul has nothing to do with the matter. This is why, theoretically, there are zero chances that the soul can act, can exist in the material world, just like a human cannot go down underwater by itself. Correct? Correct. In order to dive deep, we need a special equipment. So in order for the soul to come down, to go down into this material world, we need a special equipment, which is this material body that it has. And this material body is maintained. The matter, the quality of the matter is constant and instant degradation, degrading. Only due to the soul, to this spiritual energy in this piece of flesh, I'm not stinking now. I'm still somehow looking well and maintaining life in this body. The moment the soul gets out of this matter, 2 hours after that, you will not be able to come close to me without closing your nose, because instantly I will start degrading. The matter will start decompounding. The very same we can observe with our houses. If you build a new house, brand new house, but you don't move in, you close it and you come back after 10 years. And you will say, nobody used it. It's a brand new. It should be like still smelling like fresh. No, it will degrade. And you will be very surprised to see, like, oh my God, how could it be? Like, nobody lived here, but like it feels like it's in a very bad condition. Why? Because there were no people living. There were no this energy, this spiritual energy in them. The spirit, the soul was not there. The soul is maintaining the house to live maybe for ages. How to make sure that the person died? Because very often in the medicine, they say that the person dies when there is no pulse, when there is no breathing, when there are no more heartbeats, when the brain stops functioning. In the hospital, they can see these processes. But in fact, we know that people would come back to life even after a couple of days. In the morgue workers would say that they can start hearing people in those boxes when the people wake up. How many times people were found turned in an absolutely different position in the coffins. This is why there are, for example, Dostoevsky was always carrying a note in his pocket that don't bury me for 7 days, I think. Like something, he was very afraid to be buried alive. So he had a note saying that, like, I don't know, somehow check or somehow make sure that you are not burying me alive. So there is a certain way to test to make sure that the person is dead, and it's called the cat eye. or the white eye. So if to not squeeze, but if to press the eye like this, the pupil will become long, not round like it normally is, but it will become like the cat one. It will really become elongate. It will become longer like the cat eye. And the moment you leave the eye, it will come back to normal. If the person is alive, but if the person is dead and you are pressing on the eye, removing your hands, your fingers, and the eye doesn't go back into the round position, the pupil, then the person is definitely not coming back unless some miracle, which we know. I myself, I truly believe in miracles. I truly believe in the biggest miracles in this world, the most unbelievable miracles. This is why I always leave a place for miracles. Next time we will always speak why these saints don't rotten, because it's like there are we see in churches, we know the stories of the saints who stayed intact for months or years, and their body was not eaten by worms, and like it was considered still is considered a miracle, and people would just visit such places, visit such bodies, and just by touching getting the healing. And so next time I will mention why this is happening. So by living in a house, we are sharing our life energy, our this spiritual energy with the walls. But if you are seeing yourself only like a body, you will definitely be living in a lot of fear, because the fear cannot be avoided. It can be diminished a bit. And the fear is the other side of the desires. The more desires we have, the bigger fear we have. People say that, if I had $1 million or $5 million or $500,000, I would be worryless, like all my worries would go away. Or if I had that man of my dream or that woman of my dream, then I will be happy and all my worries will go away. My dears, it's not true. If whatever you are attached, the moment you have it, your fears will increase 100 times. And just like an example, imagine you have an amount of money which is 100 times more than your average. If your average is $1,000, then 100 times is $1 million. No, $100,000, right? So whatever, like an amount which is much higher than your dream amount. Yeah, and somebody gives you a bag and says, "Congratulations, you asked, please, you have, and please now you go home walking, carrying, this $1 million or $100,000, when maximum you carried, I don't know, $500 in your pocket." You will see, in everybody thieves, you will see like, oh my God, like maybe they will rob. You will die till you reach home. You will die till you reach home carrying those money. And then having those money in your house, you'll say, oh my God, like, what if somebody knows? What if somebody happened? Like, where to put them? If you are attached, it will be very scary for you. In order for us, remember the pyramid of eternity, in order for us to make us for us easier, God created religions, yoga. My dears, yoga is not raising your leg above your head and I don't know, twisting your something about something and laugh or drink beer. This is not yoga. This is exercise. It's very needed for your body. But yoga is reestablishing the connection between you and God. This is religion. Yoga, the synonym of yoga, is religion. It's the very same word, only one word is in Sanskrit. Yoga means connection, religion, and another word, religion, is in Latin, connecting again, binding again. It means getting you back to where you belong. This is the point of every single religion, to show the way to the soul of how it can go back to God. Different story is that nowadays religion, almost all of it, became not what it was meant to be, and instead of guiding, it's actually very often impeding. But still, the person who has the sincere desire to become better, his or her own religion confession will give absolutely all the answers, because all the answers are there in every holy book that is existing today. And whenever the once in a while means once in every 500 years, God is making readjustment to our human stupidity, to our human greed, to our egoistic ambitions, which are modifying the word of God. So every 500 years, God is sending one of his messengers who will remind the true course of what God wanted to say. And once in a while, even less than that, God himself will come on earth to get things back to normal. So the people, the messengers whom God delegates with correcting the mistakes in his words, are called the Shakti Avesha avatars, the ones who are empowered, the ones who have the energy of God, and the ones who have the powerful word to influence nations and people. That was the Moisés, that was Jesus Christ, that was the Prophet Muhammad, that was Ali Ghazali, that were different other people who came and again reminded us of the purpose of us being here. One last thing that I want to, I will again need the whiteboard, just to crystallize, just to say the very same things, but okay, let's choose a new one. In a different way, maybe. So there, who are the participants of this game? Shakespeare said, All this a game, and we are all its players. So, God has three forms. Let's say three forms. Okay. One form we said light. No, that doesn't come nice. Anyway, without wasting time. So God has three qualities. He is light. He has the aspect of light. This is the aspect of Brahman. This is what we were saying, that the moment you die, you are just becoming one with all of it, light and so on. Then is his aspect of intellect, Paramatma, of intellect. And intellect, it means the higher intellect, the universal intellect. And his aspect of personality. God has a personality, and only in Hinduism he is regarded as a person. So another participant of this game is the us, living entity. It's us, living entity. Living entity has three qualities: Sat, Chit, Ananda. It means Sat, Chit, Ananda. A soul is eternal. It never dies, never born, it's never splitted. It's eternal and individual. Chit, it means the soul has the complete knowledge that is needed for its existence. And Ananda, it means that a soul is meant to be eternally happy. The very same qualities has God. Sat, Chit, Ananda. God is eternal. God is eternally happy. And God, here is the only difference. God has not the complete knowledge. God has the absolute knowledge. If the soul has only the knowledge that is needed for the life of the soul, God has the knowledge of everything, including every single kind of the soul. And do you remember in the story of Adam and Eve? I wish that one time I share the Vedic version of Adam and Eve, Adamati and Avyevati, which will bring so much clarity to the story from the Bible. But what was the problem? What was the temptation? What was the reason for the failure from the heaven into the material world? It was the apple. And God told to Eve and Adam, you can eat from anything, only from that tree of knowledge, don't eat. And then the serpent came and said to Eve, like, look what kind of beautiful, look at this beautiful apple. Once you have a bite of it, you will know everything. What was I saying in the start? That was the reason for our fall. I didn't want to serve God as a cat. I said, oh, I want to try to be as a bird. I wanted to get the knowledge that it's not needed for my nature. I wanted to be God, to have the knowledge of how it feels living as a monkey, how it feels living as a cat, as a bird, and as a and all the other kind of lives, because I felt that something is better than me. I envied those who had it and I didn't have it. So that is what made the soul fall, the quality of Chit, the knowledge. instead of using the knowledge that I need, what is happening today, my dear ladies? Instead of using the knowledge of you being a woman, we are jumping into the man's world and trying to start living as men do, by getting different and using different kind of knowledge. And there is, in order to combine these two, God created what? God created a material world. Material world. Material world. Material world is the third participant, and material world also has the three qualities, the three moods. We spoke about this in the numerology class, the three moods: the mood of goodness, passion, and the mood of ignorance. And all these three moods define everything that is happening in material world. We can eat in one of the three ways. Yes, the goodness, it means your food is healthy. The passion, you eat just to satisfy your senses. And in the mood of ignorance, you just eat something that hurts your body. The very same, we can have the relationship. We can have the relationship in the in the mood of goodness, when you are really understanding that this woman or man in front of you are the object of your service and not the object of your use. Or we can have a relationship in the mood of passion, when I compete. I want to have better than someone. I want to have something better that will make me better. Like, we are competing. It's a lot of passion there, in a negative way, not in the sensual, nice passion in a couple. And the relationship in a mood of ignorance, when I am using the other person and I don't hurt it if it hurts him or her, but just I want to have my interests done. And everything in our life, the music, the cities, the houses, the clothes, the businesses, the mass media, the movies, songs, everything is done in one of these three modes of material life. You are living mostly in one of these modes. Now, what are the connection? The connection between God and soul, I mean the living entity in the material world, is love. Is love. God is giving us love, and God is expecting from us also love. So the way of interacting between us and God is love. The way of interacting between God and material world is time. God's name is time in the material world. And the interaction between the living entity and material world is karma. Karma. I am impacting the material world. It means I have my desires and I'm trying to get them satisfied in the material world by the matter. And matter gives me back what? Material events in my life: sickness, beauty, health, poverty, good things, bad things. And again, I'm getting desires. Again, I'm sending my desires towards the material world. And again, it sends me back my karma. And so going round, more, till one moment I understand, like, I want to impact here less, because what I'm getting back is really hurting me more and more. And I want to focus here more, because somehow it happens once, it happened once and I felt so good. So I want to repeat it again and start living more and more as a soul, it means seeing in everything around me God. And this is the real yoga. Understanding that there is God, understanding that there is me, the soul, and understanding what is my relationship between God. So I can choose interacting more with the matter, or I can choose interacting more with God. Everybody is making this choice. I put my effort into God more or matter more. And basically, this is the formula of spirituality. Where am I focusing my time more? In the God or matter? And if the God is more, then definitely the coefficient of spirituality will be 1. It means it's okay. But if all my focus is into the material and God has no place in me, then my life will be full of pain, because somebody will say, so what's the problem to come back and back and again back? Like, I'm feeling quite well, I'm doing well in this life, why wouldn't I keep on doing great in my next life? The thing is that the moment we are being born in a material life, we will not avoid the types of suffering of birth, the pain of sicknesses, the pain of aging, and the pain of dying. And again nowadays, if you would ask most of the people, are you happy? And from those who will answer, yes, I'm happy now, for them, it only means that there are no sufferings in the present moment in their life, and they consider this as happiness, when in fact, happiness is absolutely not the lack of difficulties. Happiness is understanding who you are, and you understand the karma of this world. My dears, this was everything that I wanted to share with you today, related to the how universe is formed. I would there was also a topic about opening the cards of how time-wise this world is, I mean, the seasons of the existence, but it would need too much time, maybe some other occasion. It was not that important. It was a curious thing, but it wouldn't be that important for what I wanted you to understand this time. So if you have questions now, you can write them. Otherwise, we can do as we did before. You can write in the Telegram channel, and next time I will start with answering those. So you have the choice, my dears. I hope it was useful. I know it was useful. I don't hope. I am very confident. Only that the knowledge and the use of it will unfold gradually, maybe even in years, in each of you. But I know it will not go unnoticeable. I know the moment you are here hearing this, then definitely there are life situations in your reality that this knowledge you will need. It was a heavy session. I thank you so much. Yeah, I told you that it will be a heavy one, because it's so hard to somehow understand that God is a personality. It's so hard to understand that his planet. I admit, I know it was very hard for me to understand it as well. What about you, who maybe, for those who are hearing this for the first time, those who I see here from who did the numerology course, it's easier because we spoke, we pay a lot of attention to philosophy. But if it's in the first hearing, I absolutely admit that it's heavy. This is why if I could give you the medals of courage for each one present here, I would definitely do so, because it's not easy. My dears, I'm thanking you I'm wishing you happiness. I'm wishing you enough courage to continue your path towards yourselves, and it means towards God. May His presence be very obvious in your life, and may you most of the time understand what He wants to tell you. I'm wishing you happiness.
Thank you
Thank you.
so very much.
Thank you.